always be willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think you've arrived. Don't think, oh, we're here. We've got it figured out.
Yep.
All right, we're good. We can chill.
Yeah.
Right. We've got it mastered.
Yeah.
Because technology is constantly evolving and things are always changing, and there's always going to be next month somebody's going to come out with something that's a little bit slicker, faster, shinier.
Yeah.
And if your mindset is, I don't want to learn,
You're done.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. Today we are joined by Matt Tranel. He is the #1 agent in Wisconsin Rapids. Matt funds his perfect life through his real estate business. His real estate business is funded almost 100% on repeat business and referral clients. To put that in perspective, last year Matt and his brother Nathan sold 108 sides with no admin. That's roughly 9 houses per month, and typically we think that in order to do that type of business, you have to have this large staff, you have to work around the clock, and that doesn't necessarily have to be true. During Matt's first year as the #1 agent, Matt rarely worked more than 40 hours a week. He took more than 6 weeks of vacation, and that's what in Keller Williams we call living a life by design. And today Matt's going to share with us how he did that. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for being here. So Matt, what got you into real estate?
So I think I was working retail sales and was kind of kept hitting the ceiling. I was the top sales agent, but that came with limits.
Sure.
And so I think just the flexibility. I got into retail sales to get out of a factory job, just to have a little bit more flexibility with my kids. But I think the idea of being able to kind of control my hours a little bit better,
sure,
and not have as much of a ceiling on the income potential.
Okay.
Was
it kind of drew
me into it? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have 6 kids.
Yes. Yes.
So if any of our agents out there saying, because I have kids, I can't do a lot of business.
Yeah, false.
False. That's not true, right?
That's not true.
Yeah. You work really hard. So so how long have you been in real estate?
So this is my 6th year.
6th year in real estate.
Right now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
108 sides with you and your brother last year.
Last year, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. So talk to us about how do you get the business? How did you start getting the amount of business that you have now?
Yeah. So my first year in real estate, I started early in the year, so it would have been kind of a full year. I started late, like November, December. So basically that next year, I think maybe I did 24 sides.
Okay.
And the bulk of those were fueled from open houses. So I would say, I think I did maybe 100, 110 open houses my first year.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have any listings.
Yeah.
Maybe had a couple listings, but I had agents in my office that were successful that didn't have the time to do the open houses.
Yeah.
And it's not that they even needed it. I just knew that every time I did an open house, I could advertise it. People saw my face on it. They thought I was successful because, he's in the paper again, or he's online, and he has all these, he's constantly doing stuff.
Yeah.
And then I use the open houses to procure buyers like crazy.
Sure.
So I just picked up buyers constantly at these open houses by just, really trying to relate to them. Anytime I meet somebody new in an environment like that, within the first couple of minutes, I try to find a common thread.
Sure.
So either they know somebody I know, they work, there's some connection that just humanizes me to them, and I'm not this real estate agent. I'm just Matt.
Yep. Yeah.
And I can help them buy a house.
I want to repeat that because that's activity. 115 open houses. That's 2 to 3 a weekend.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's important because that's what it takes to be successful. You got to get out there, do the open houses, and like you said, you make that connection, you build the rapport, you find that common thread that you guys have.
Yep.
But I want to repeat that because I think a lot of times people think, well, especially new people getting in business, I'm going to do an open house once a month.
Yeah. So I would do them. I was doing multiple every Saturday, and then I would do them during the week too. I'd have multiple and again in the beginning, coming from a full-time job to real estate. I didn't have anything better to do.
What else are you going to do, right?
I wasn't swamped with sides and all this business. So that was one thing I could really do to get out and
Absolutely.
meet people, and
Absolutely.
people could see my face.
Yeah.
So.
And all right, so fast forward a little bit, and where does most of your business come now?
Yeah, so last year, I would say about 98% of our business came from just past clients and past client referrals.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I don't do 110 open houses anymore because I don't need to.
Right.
And so now my time is more valuable than going and doing an open house. But if you're a new agent and you join my team, you're going to go do a ton of open houses
Sure.
to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right? But yeah, so
you built your business up. You started with those open houses, and then the you started with this many open houses to lead generate, and then over time you were able to shrink that down because you just did a good job with the ones that you met those prior years, and then
there's a wheel, and you have to fill the Ferris wheel up before people start coming off, right?
Yeah.
So you have to fill that thing up with leads.
Yeah.
And so that first year, there were people that bought houses in year 2, 3, and 4 from me.
Right.
That I met that very first year,
Sure.
that I just had kept in contact with, and
Sure.
we're getting drip emails, and but a lot of it's just taking care of them. That's what I think we really pride ourselves on is we really try to just take care of our clients.
Customer service.
Yeah.
Awesome. So started about 6 years ago. January of 2018 is when your brother joined you.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yep.
What caused that? How did that evolve? Let's go there.
Yeah. So we had been talking about it for a couple years. I've been trying to get him. He was a manager at a local retail store, and so I knew his skill set would work really well. He's really, really good with people and conflict resolution and just strategizing, and so just the whole back end, working with buyers and sellers in the midst of the contracts,
Sure.
and stuff like that. I knew he would do really well at that, and he's just a really good people person.
Okay.
And he's way more techy than me, so he had always been helping me on the back end.
Sure.
With pictures and video and websites, and
Right.
telling me, hey, you should be doing this, and I'd be like, okay, sounds good. I don't, that's more up his alley.
Yeah.
And I was getting busy enough that I needed to start. I knew I needed to start having somebody, because I knew there was more business to be had that I was letting fall through the cracks.
Sure.
Just because I was prioritizing other things higher and saying, okay, that's
Yeah. You were at the point. Typically, when I hear that is that you were on the point where you're like, I have a buyer that's looking for $300,000 house, let's say, and then but you were losing maybe some that were looking for 100, 150, and they were falling through those cracks.
Yep.
So you said, I need leverage. I need to enter. I need to get some piece of leverage in my life so that way I can catch those.
Yep.
And then I have time for all of them.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
How soon? So your brother transitions over. How soon did you start seeing like a return on investment, or with him coming like a boost in business? Or?
Obviously immediately. So we went from 2017. I did, I want to say 65 sides.
Okay.
In 2018, we did 108.
Sure. So it was an instant.
It was the first year. It was instant. It was interesting because I didn't think my personal business would. I didn't think I would do that much more.
Sure.
I knew he would do, but it was interesting to see that we both just went up. And I think it's just that there was a lot of. You're able to help each other out a ton.
Yep. Yep.
So when I'm gone, he can do stuff. When he's gone, I can do stuff.
Right.
Right. So.
And so, do you believe that when he joined, it was did you guys both do the exact same thing when he joined your team, or how did that look?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we both do buying and selling. We don't. He's not just like a buyer. I know some guys will do. You're just a buyer's, agent. And for the first few months, it was just a lot. He just came with me on everything. He shadowed me.
Sure.
He literally just rode in the car with me everywhere.
Yeah.
So every showing, every listing, everything, just to see how I did it. We did some open houses, so we could see how I interact with the clients. What are the questions I asked? How do I, how do I get out of them what I want to know?
How long did he run side by side with you?
Probably 2-3 months.
2-3 months.
Yeah.
I think that's crucial because that was your unofficial training, mentoring, coaching.
Yeah.
You're going, here, this is the way I operate.
Yep.
Just say what I say, do what I do, talk to them the way I talk to them.
Yeah.
And he got to absorb that.
Yes.
And run with it from there.
Yeah.
I think that's crucial. A lot of times that somebody we interviewed on last week's call last week's video, he said that leverage, when somebody comes into your organization, he said that it's more work before it becomes less work. And I was like, wow, that's really good, because what that means is just like you did, is you had to put more work into your brother. You actually had to go back and do an open house. You had to you had to pour a little more work into him for 3 months, and then it became less work, and now he's just running on his own. You very rarely probably have to show him how to do an open house anymore.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So it was a little bit more work. We have to slow down, and that's hard for top producers sometimes. Slow down, teach, train, your way you do things, and then you did the hockey stick.
So I think it's, and I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of top producing agents will say, something new comes out that's kind of cool, and they go, I don't have time. I don't have time to go to that training. I don't have time to learn that. I don't have time.
Right.
I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time.
Right.
And our motto is, well, if we don't have time, then in a year or two, we're not going to be successful, because somebody else will make the time to learn the new things and do the new things, and then they'll surpass.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to just take the time and go, no, this is important.
Even people that perform at a really high level, they just naturally have this curve, right? Like they shoot up, and then they all of a sudden will start tapering off. Like there's a natural curve, whatever amount of units it is.
Yep.
And if you don't, like you just said, invest and train, then it's hard for you at that point to go to that next level.
Yeah.
You just those top producers are always going to be at that same curve.
Yeah.
Because they don't have time to learn something new and go to that.
And
next
if they
level.
don't keep learning, sometimes the curve goes
the other way.
They go back down.
Absolutely.
Because they're not,
less efficient.
They just get,
don't as much tech.
this is how I did it.
Sure.
And it's been 10 years. Well, things change, and so.
All right, let's talk about your personal life. You're doing this amount of business, but yet you seem to have really good standards and expectations on yourself and in around maybe your family time. It seems like you work 40 hours a week roughly, and then you go and you take a lot of time off. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I really try to. The way we run our business is very, very unique, I think, compared to at least compared to a lot of agents I've ran into and talked to.
Okay.
So, for instance, I don't go to the office.
Okay.
Ever. My broker will tell you I show up to drop off checks from the title company if they don't do it.
Sure.
That's the extent of it. Maybe a sales meeting once in a while. We run out of an office that isn't actually in the market that we are number one in, which is also unique.
Yep.
So our home office isn't even in Rapids.
Okay.
So we don't go to the office. We're 100% paperless. We save a ton of time, and so I can do a lot of work from home.
Okay.
And so that allows me to not work as many hours. I'm not driving to the office. I'm not going and printing up data sheets. I'm not,
Sure.
And so I really try to. My calendar goes in. The kids have a basketball game or a dance, or whatever's going on goes in the calendar. And then when it's in the calendar, that's an appointment.
Yep.
And so if you call and say, hey, I want you to come list my house, I'm going to look at my calendar and go, okay, well, I have an opening tomorrow at 3, and if he says, well, I want to do 6, well, 6 says there's a basketball game. Nope, I'm booked.
Yeah.
Can you do 8? It's not really an option. Now, again, it's not that that's 100% all the time. Sometimes there's crisis situations where you have to kind of call an audible, but more times than not, the idea is to schedule what's important to you into your calendar, and then let everything else fall. Somebody taught me a long time ago that if you schedule your priorities. So what's most important in your life, that goes in your calendar first.
Yep.
Second, third, and a lot of times for me, work is down here somewhere.
Yeah.
And so as long as the calendar is full of all the things that are important, work can fill in.
Absolutely.
Wherever.
And you can be successful.
Yes.
With those standards. That's awesome. How do you stay top of mind with your customers, your clients?
Every time I have a client, my goal is to become friends with them.
Okay.
So they're my friend, and then it's not, oh, I've got this client, I've got to go make a phone call, or I run into them. If I'm in the neighborhood, I stop and knock on the door and chat with them for 5 minutes. It's just constantly being just a human. I actually do not have currently any automated follow-up program for my existing database. We do some big events. We do some big customer appreciation events every year.
Sure.
We do a big one at a local baseball facility where we rent out an entire VIP area, and
Sure.
everybody can come and eat, and so we do things like that
Yep.
every year, and I invite everybody. It's not just the clients from that year; it's any client that's ever bought or sold.
Yeah.
So that's always a time to mingle and touch. We can definitely do better
Sure.
in that arena, but I think it's just more the fact that I don't even really view them as clients.
Sure.
That's my
Yeah.
those are my friends now.
Yeah. You
and
built the relationship.
the relationship is there.
Your
Yes.
follow-up system is the human relationship
Yes.
side.
Yes.
You genuinely care what's going on in their life.
Yes.
You're going to see them. That's how you remain top of mind with them. Is you have events. You if you're in the neighborhood, you stop, say hi.
Yeah.
And then you just remember who they are, and
Yeah.
you make an effort, just
Yep.
like a good friend, to
Yeah.
stay in contact with
Yeah,
them.
and if you run into them at Walmart, it's you stop
Stop
and
and say hi.
stop and visit and chat. And I mean, my kids, that drives my kids nuts because every time we go somewhere, they're like,
It's like going
"Dad,
with the
everyone-
mayor.
you know everybody." They're always top. It's like, well, I mean, that,
Yeah.
But it's 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes. It's
Yeah.
and it's some of our best friends right now are clients that I met 3 years ago at an open house.
Yeah.
It's just that's just being there and being real and human and letting them know that you care more about them than the transaction.
Right.
Right? They're more important than
Yep.
it closing. They're more important than the paycheck. They're more important than
Yep.
doesn't matter. That they're more important.
You put them ahead of everything
Yes.
else, and the business
Yes.
falls into place.
Yes.
It's a common theme with doing this video is kind of what you just said, is that you really don't sell anything.
No.
You help them in their life get and add value to them and what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Selling takes care of itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I hear agents just around at different meetings, conferences, talking. You hear them talking about different situations, and it's like a lot of them have this attitude of entitlement, like.
Sure.
I did all this, and so now you owe me this, or why should I have to pay for that? That's and I always just go back to there's times where I've put clients up in hotels. I've done did I have to? No. Was it my fault? No. Was I bound? No. But I felt it was the right thing to do.
Yeah. You took full accountability.
Took full accountability and made sure that they were taken care of.
Right.
And that to me is the stuff that. If you live your life like that, it's not like you're trying to go out and show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show Caleb that I'm really important by doing something.
Right.
If you just live your life that way, it just kind of permeates, and people just know that.
And they
it's
know
not-
that you're.
They know that I don't need this to close Friday.
Right.
Or I'm going to get really upset.
Right.
I'm the realtor. Why should I get upset?
Right.
I mean, this is
Amen.
your house, not mine.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
And so that's, I think, the difference. I think a lot of realtors, it's so much on when I got in it, I realized really quick, and I didn't know this getting into real estate, that the perception was like a used car salesman.
Right. Right.
And I was like, what the heck? Why
is
but then
that?
I learned really quick kind of why. It's that there's so many of the agents out there that are just, it's the money, and I needed to close to make my car payment, and it's like so then to them there's all this pressure.
Yep.
Then I feel that they're putting back on the clients. It's like, whoa, you're supposed to be here to help them and alleviate the pressure.
Right.
Not
dump more on them.
Yes. Because you need it to close. Right. Or you need,
It's
or
already an emotional
Or you
time.
have to charge them this much. You can't give them a break, or you can't, it's just, so, yeah.
Cool. No, that's awesome. That's great. So I got to watch one of your videos of telling a story on one of your listings. Can you tell me a little bit about your listing presentation? Your how do you interact with someone? Like, let's say it was a referral, because that's a lot of your business. You go on that appointment.
Yep.
What does that look like for you? How does that?
It's kind of evolved. When I first started, I would do a 2-step process.
Okay.
Where I'd come to your house and I'd meet with you and I'd fact find, and then I'd schedule another appointment and I'd go back to the office and I'd, collect all the data and put together this printed listing presentation and come back to you. And it's evolved because, one, I didn't really, I felt like I was, there were times where I felt like I was losing listings by the people who were coming in one stop in it.
Sure.
And so my second stop, sometimes maybe I wasn't getting it by the time I went back. They had already met and
somebody else
already got it or something.
Yep.
And so we evolved it into kind of a one-stop. So again, this is something I should have that I don't. I literally do not even have a PowerPoint listing presentation.
Sure.
Okay? I should. I'd like one. Something that's on my admin's to-do list, right? We literally will go in and I mean, the perfect example is I was in the parking lot and my phone rings and it's some guy I've never met, and he's like, "Hey, you don't know me, but I live in Rapids and I've got this really nice house in Grand Rapids that I want to sell, and we got to live in this one." I'm like, "All right, so how did you hear about me?" Somebody that I know says you're really awesome on Facebook and you're the guy to call.
Great.
All right.
Great.
So I'm going to go to his house tomorrow, and I'm going to sit down and I'll look at it. I'll literally take my computer, I'll pull it up, and I'll go into Paragon, and I will look at comps with him.
Sure.
And I'll show him comps in front of him, show him pictures, locations, and I'll do it right with him in a matter of 10 minutes.
Sure.
Right.
What you used to do, or what you used to go back to your office to do all that,
Yes.
now you just educate them at the table.
Yeah, so what I want to do is, instead of coming in, I know probably within 10 minutes what his house is going to sell for.
Sure.
Right? I
Yep.
do.
Yep.
And there are realtors that will walk in and go, "Oh, yeah, this will sell for this."
Mm-hmm.
And then blindly, I feel the client is supposed to just trust this guy
Right.
off of
Right.
the fact that he's a realtor or
Right.
whatever. So I would rather just educate the client.
Mm-hmm.
So I say my goal is to give you enough information to help you make an educated decision.
Right.
It's your decision what you list it for.
Right.
It's your decision what you sell it for. Here's some comps. So we go through the comps, and then I'll just go into, we'll show them, from a marketing perspective, we show them what we do. We do all professional photography. We Matterport. We do custom YouTube videos on every single listing. It doesn't matter if it's a 500,000 or a 50,000.
Right.
Every single listing gets the same treatment from
Sure.
us. And then I usually, go into social media, and I have, you can rank the pages. So I have all the local realtors in my market and surrounding markets in there. And on any given day, I can pull that up, and we have the most engagements by far out of any page on there.
And
so I can just show them right there that
here's what we do.
Here's what we do from a marketing perspective.
Yep.
We put money
Yep.
into Facebook. Like, we
Yep.
spend money.
Yep.
Very few agents in our market
We'll do that.
spend money.
Right.
They
Period.
Yeah, that's a whole separate topic.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But just from a marketing perspective, that, so we just show them what we do, and it usually doesn't take much more than that
Yep.
to.
We get them.
They're like, okay, yeah, nobody else is doing this.
Let's go.
So we're kind of, we always try to stay at the top of what's the best for the videos. What's the
Sure.
We can make nice videos, but if we've got a super unique property like the video you're talking about that we did in Wapaka, I mean that property was listed for a year or two with another agent.
Right.
He had seen our stuff. He called us. When we went there, he told us that their other realtor had brought this professional in from Chicago, and it was the best video guys in the Midwest, and it was pretty bad.
Pretty poor.
Yeah. And we brought our guy, and it was, what we did is we rode with the owner for 45 minutes on the property, and he's talking, and we get out, and me and my brother look at each other, and we go, we've got to get that on a video, because every single buyer needs to experience what we just experienced.
Oh yeah, when I watched that, I'm like,
so,
I'm moving to Wapaka,
yeah,
man.
like it was, and it turned out awesome. No,
It did.
that video was not cheap.
No, I bet.
Very expensive.
Yeah.
But one thing I feel, so from a marketing piece, right? We don't self-promote. We don't advertise. I don't have billboards. I don't do, I don't have advertising outside of, we advertise every single listing. We advertise every single accepted offer, and we advertise every single sold.
Okay.
On social media.
Yep.
With money.
Yep.
That's the extent of our advertising. Sure. So the way I view it is, if I'm going to come and list your house, the money I'm spending not only is promoting your property, it's also promoting us.
Right.
Because everybody on social media now knows, in my market,
Matt's
they know
successful.
Premier Realty Group
Yep.
is going to have top quality everything. It doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 rental or a $500,000 or $1 million home.
Right.
It's the same treatment up and down.
Yep.
And so putting out our product to the market and putting money behind that not only promotes that specific listing for that client, it promotes our business. That this is what we do.
Right. So you seem to invest in yourself. You and Nathan, you guys invest in yourself. You invest in your business. You invest in the latest videos. You invest in the latest marketing. What do you do to stay top of the game, so to speak? Like, do you read a lot? Do you go to conferences? How do you do?
We're always watching. We watch larger markets.
Okay.
What's going on?
Okay.
What are they doing in Atlanta? What are they doing in Chicago? What are they doing in Denver? What are they? We try to, and we've got a few pages that we follow that we're always trying to see what are other people doing.
Sure.
How can we mimic that?
Yeah.
in our market, even though Rapids would be considered, I mean, even compared to the Valley, Rapids is peanuts,
Sure.
you know. But our view is doesn't matter where we are, if we can still provide it, then it's still going to separate us
Yep.
from the competition. And anytime I see anybody doing anything, I always have the attitude that I can always get better, and there's always ways to improve.
Yes.
And so I always want to know,
Yeah.
how did you do that? How do you do that? And see, is there a piece of, maybe I don't want the whole thing,
Yeah.
but maybe I like how you do just that segment of it, and I can weave that into my business
Sure.
to make it even more efficient.
Yeah. So you're always on that journey looking for, you're always curious.
Yes.
You're curious on what other people are doing, what they're working on. You might not like the whole thing, but you want to grab that little piece of value,
Yes.
insert that into your toolkit.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah,
that's
for
super
sure.
great. All right, just so as we wrap up here, what's like, we typically like to ask people some of the best either business advice, personal advice, anything that kind of always resonates with you. Is there anything that you'd like to share with that?
Expound on that.
So, for example, is there a favorite quote? Is there a, as you go, you know what, this type of, I'll give you an example. Somebody gave me advice a long time ago. They said, don't ever take advice from anybody you want to trade places with. And that's helped shape my life. And I go, I like that, because personally I can use that, business-wise I can use that. If somebody else says, let's say I want to take my company to Z,
Yep.
and I see somebody that's at F and I'm on B, I probably will take advice from that person on F, because I want to exchange places with them.
Yes.
Is there anything that you, I picked up a few themes from you, for example, like you command excellence.
Yeah.
Excellence in your marketing. You're
Yep,
very,
yep.
you have a lot of standards. Is there
Well,
anything like
I mean, for something I could tell agents, it would be, don't be afraid to just invest in your business.
that? It's
I
a
mean,
business.
I feel so many agents look at it as, well, I'm not going to spend money on that, because what if the listing doesn't sell and I don't get paid?
Right.
Well, I don't know. That seems like a horrible way to think about it. I mean,
It kind of puts a lid on their whole business.
it does, because what you have to realize is when you're spending the money to market it, you're not just marketing that property. You're marketing yourself. You're marketing you, your name, if it's just Bob Smith, if it's, whatever it is. Don't be afraid to, you have to spend money to make money. That's, and don't be afraid to spend. No, you don't have to go hog wild. It's not like we want you to spend $30,000 your first year on advertising. I mean, last year on social media, I probably only spent maybe $6,000.
Right.
I'm not breaking the bank on it, but it's effective. It's how you do it. It's and don't be afraid to do it. The other one would be, always be willing to learn. Don't think you've arrived. Don't think, oh, we're here. We've got it figured out.
Yep.
All right, we're good. We can chill. Right. We've got it mastered.
Yeah.
Because technology is constantly evolving and things are always changing. And there's always going to be, next month, somebody's going to come out with something that's a little bit slicker, faster, shinier.
Yeah.
And if your mindset is, I don't want to learn,
You're done.
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because there's agents that in my market that will say, well, this is how I've done it. That's how I've always done it.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep doing it.
Don't say that.
Right.
Don't.
Sure.
Your answer should never be, well, that's how I've always done it.
Yeah.
That's a lame answer. You
Right.
know.
So in parting, you say invest in your business and invest in yourself.
Oh, totally. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for your time today.
sure,
We
for
appreciate
sure.
it. We enjoyed our time with you, and thank you.
Yeah.